In a courtroom full of doubt, a blind girl stands accused of a crime she swears she didn't commit. The evidence is against her, and the judge's gavel is ready to drop. But just when everyone thinks they know the truth, something unbelievable happens. A dog, her loyal guide, walks into the room, and what happens next will shock you. Stick around to find out how a simple act of loyalty changed everything. Tears ran down her face as the gavel struck the wooden block. The courtroom fell silent, but what no one knew was that the real truth was still to come. As the judge banged the gavel, 16-year-old Sarah sat motionless, her fingers trembling in her lap. The weight of the room felt unbearable. She could sense the eyes of everyone on her, strangers, court officers, her mother, waiting for the final verdict that would change her life. But no one could see the anguish in her heart, the burden of being accused of something so unimaginable. Sarah, blind since birth, had always leaned on her guide dog, Chance, to help her navigate the world. He was more than just a dog. He was her protector, her companion, and the one being she trusted completely. But today, in this sterile courtroom, he couldn't protect her from the accusations that hung heavy in the air. The crime was clear. Sarah was accused of stealing an expensive necklace from the local jewelry store. Her mother, standing by her side, could barely contain her concern. Sarah had never stolen anything, and the very idea of being implicated in such a crime was unfathomable. Her voice quivered as she spoke. "I swear, I didn't do it." But no one seemed to believe her. The evidence against her was overwhelming. As Sarah continued her testimony, she kept her head down, clutching the edge of the podium for support, her fingers white from the pressure. The courtroom felt like it was closing in around her, the heat of the judgment making it hard to breathe. She had learned to trust her instincts after losing her sight at a young age, but today those instincts were telling her that the battle she was facing was unlike anything she had ever faced before. Chance, her loyal guide dog, sat quietly by her side, offering what little comfort he could. To Sarah, he was more than just a dog. He was her eyes, her protector, her constant companion in a world of darkness. Without him, she would have felt even more alone. Yet, even his presence couldn't make up for the growing doubt in the room. The whispers around her grew louder, the jury exchanging skeptical glances as Sarah spoke. How could someone like her, a blind girl, be capable of such a crime? The evidence against her seemed undeniable. Witnesses had testified to seeing a girl matching Sarah's description inside the jewelry store, and the stolen necklace had been found in a bag with her name on it. The weight of suspicion pressed heavily on her, and no matter how much she tried to stay composed, the enormity of it all threatened to swallow her. Just as the judge was preparing to wrap up the trial and announce the decision, a soft sound echoed through the courtroom. It wasn't loud, but it was enough to make everyone pause. The courtroom doors swung open, and all eyes turned in shock. There, in the doorway, stood Chance, Sarah's loyal guide dog. The sight of him in the courtroom was unexpected, almost surreal. Chance wasn't supposed to be here. He had never been part of the trial. But somehow, in a moment of pure serendipity, he had found his way back into the very room that could decide Sarah's fate. Sarah, though shocked, felt a wave of relief wash over her. For a split second, it felt like a sign. The one being who had always been her anchor was now in the place where her life was being decided. Chance didn't seem nervous or out of place. He trotted confidently toward Sarah, his tail gently swaying as he approached her. The courtroom fell completely silent, everyone watching in awe. Sarah's hand instinctively reached down, her fingers brushing through Chance's fur, sensing something was different. Then, in a move that surprised everyone, Chance walked calmly toward the prosecutor's table, sniffed the floor, and returned to Sarah. It wasn't just a random walk. Something was happening, something remarkable, and in the next few moments, everything would change. What happened next was nothing short of extraordinary. Sarah had always known Chance to be an exceptional dog, but no one in the courtroom could have predicted what was about to unfold. As her hand rested gently on Chance's head, she felt a subtle shift in his demeanor, a slight change in his movement that drew the attention of everyone around her. That's when something strange caught the eye of those watching. The floor beneath the prosecutor's table was slightly uneven. Chance, with his keen senses, had sniffed it out. The air in the room grew tense as everyone realized something was happening. A court officer hurried over to investigate, bending down to examine the spot where Chance had focused his attention. After a few moments of careful inspection, he noticed a hidden compartment in the floorboards. The officer's eyes widened as he reached inside, pulling out something wrapped in cloth. As the cloth was unfurled, it revealed the missing jewelry, the same necklace that had been stolen from the jewelry store. In that instant, it became clear the real culprit wasn't Sarah. It was the prosecutor's assistant, who had planted the jewelry in Sarah's bag, hoping to frame her. The courtroom watched in stunned silence as the assistant was led away in handcuffs, and Sarah's life was forever changed. For Sarah and her mother, it was a moment of triumph, a moment when the truth had finally come to light. As the court reconvened, the judge's voice echoed through the room, declaring not guilty. The words struck like a wave of relief, and the courtroom erupted into applause. But amidst the cheers, Sarah's eyes were locked on Chance, her loyal guide dog. Her heart swelled with gratitude for the dog who had saved her in a way no one else could. Without Chance, the truth might have never come to light. The final truth had emerged, and Sarah, the blind girl wrongfully accused of a crime, was exonerated. Thanks to her faithful companion, who had walked into the courtroom when she needed him most, the accusations were lifted and justice prevailed. As Sarah and her mother walked out of the courtroom, the crowd cheered in celebration. It wasn't just Sarah's victory, it was a triumph for anyone who had ever been underestimated, falsely accused, or overlooked. Sarah's story was a powerful reminder that sometimes the truth doesn't come from words alone. Sometimes it comes from the unexpected places, the loyal footsteps of a dog who was more than just a companion. Join the Black Visionaries family by hitting that subscribe button now. If you believe in truth, loyalty, and standing up against injustice, this channel is for you. Like, comment, and share this story with those who need a reminder that unexpected heroes can change everything. What do you think of Sarah's journey? Drop your thoughts below and let's keep the conversation going. See you in the next video.